Oh, okay, I get it. He does it without remorse. Hmm. Without Remorse, released on Amazon Prime in 2021 and is directed by Stefano Sollima, who has also directed such films like Sabura and Sicario Day of Sadado. And our melodramatic actors in this movie are Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Bell, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Guy Pearce. And I'm reviewing this film because it was a PayPal donation recommendation from one of my friends and one of my subscribers, one of my big supporters on this channel. Kyle Roush, thank you very much for your donation. If any of you have a recommendation for me that you really want me to get done as quickly as I possibly can, go over to my main page of my YouTube channel, select the donate button. Any size donation will do. Just attach your movie with your donation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and publish my review of it as quickly as I possibly can. And Kyle got it right here under the wire because this is episode 399, my 399th movie review on this channel, meaning that the next review that you see, or is it a review, is going to be my 400th movie review. 400 of these frickin' things. But before we get to 400, we first gotta talk about this. To be honest, this piece of shit. John Kelly is a U.S. Navy SEAL who participated in a big hostage rescue mission. Come to find out, though, that the hostage was being held by Russian spies things. And that's bad. So now some time has gone by, and John Kelly has retired from the U.S. Navy and is expecting his firstborn child with his wife. But unbeknownst to him, the Russian mob, or Russian soldiers, are taking out everyone who is a part of that hostage rescue mission, and in their attempt to take out John Kelly, take out his wife and baby child. So now John Kelly will do everything in his power to take out those who killed his wife and unborn daughter. And this movie, this premise, would have been amazing in the 80s or the 90s. But since it was released in 2021, I'm bored out of my goddamn mind because I have seen this story thousands of times before. You can tell that the source material, this book, was released in 1993 because they were still, dealing with the aftermath of the Cold War and the fall of the USSR, and there was still talk of, hey, Cold War is still happening, and Russia and communism and stuff, and the US and Russia are gonna fight each other, and that's gonna lead to World War III, and so much has happened since then that the thought of an attack with Russia, at least in my opinion, is almost foreign to me, and so, I don't want to say not possible, but it's so just out of my mind. Unlike as it was back in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. This generation is just so far removed from it. To see a story about how the Russians and nuclear weapons and wars and stuff, this movie needed to be done 30 years ago. Sorry, you're 30 years too late. I'm bored out of my mind, and these performances in this film are melodramatic and over the top. I'm shocked, especially considering the lead actor Michael B. Jordan, who I love him as an actor, and I've loved every single thing that he has done. Fruitvale Station, Creed. Hell, you know what? He was actually good as Johnny Storm in Fant4stic. And you can tell the shape that he is in. He worked his butt off for this role. And I heard that he trained, that he was able to hold his breath for a really long time. So it's obvious with his performance and hearing all those stories, he worked his butt off for this role. And then you gotta admire that. But what happened to your acting choices, dude? After his wife is murdered, everything is just so melodramatic, and I blame him partially. I also blame the directing and the editing of this film, because what the director does is he lingers on Michael B. Jordan emoting for a very long time, and I'm trying to figure out, aren't you feeling the pace of this movie kind of just stall? You are lingering too long on this emoting. Let's move to the next scene, or let's have a dramatic music beat here, or let's move the story along, and nothing. We just sit there for what feels like 10 minutes watching Michael B. Jordan on his knees on the bed where his wife was shot, just going, I'm not a professional actor or director, but I feel like I could do better than that. There's also a scene before the whole murder and hit thing goes down where John Kelly and his wife go over to their reverend's barbecue or their house or whatever, and they're talking to their friend, and they're standing in the kitchen just talking about, oh, you're expecting, huh? Okay. Yeah, so having a kid, huh? Yeah. Retired from the Navy, huh? Yeah, it's hard. Hard adjusting after retiring from the Navy. But, yeah, have a kid, huh? You'll have a kid soon, yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Just you wait. Enemies are trouble. Just wait until that little shit poops for the first time. It's parenting. It's hard. Yeah. I'm not exaggerating. That is how that scene went. People just stood around. It felt like everyone, I don't know if they were improvising or if they forgot their lines and they were too damn stubborn to call line to the script supervisor so that they can continue the scene. But they just stood there. Like, mm-hmm. This is after the opening battle scene. It's like in the first 10 minutes. And it just set the pace for me as a viewer watching this movie. Wow. But Michael B. Jordan doesn't need to worry because the crown of most melodramatic and overacting actor in this film, it's not won by him, it's won by this person by the name of Jodie Turner-Smith. Never heard of her before, never seen her before. I never want to see her in another movie as long as I fucking live. As an actor, when you're classically trained, you learn to act to work on the lines. So when you are given a script, especially when you do classical works like Shakespeare, there's so much dialogue and there's so much description on the word and on the line that you are taught to act on the line, not between the lines. So if I'm going to act, if I'm going to tell a story, I'm going to tell it with how I say these words and the emotion, the facial reactions that I'm putting behind it. What Jodie does is she says the line devoid of any emotion or acting, and then tries to act after she says the line, literally in between her lines. I can't trust you, John Kelly. But I don't have a choice. I was fighting the urge to throw things at the TV screen whenever she talked and whenever she was on screen. I want this character to die, please. I never want to see this character again if they're gonna do Without Remorse 2 or Without Remorse Again. Without More Remorse, whatever the fucking sequel's gonna be. Now again, I feel like I am being very, very, very hard on this movie. To the point where I feel like it's a little unfair because there are other films that have this exact same storyline that I will give a pass to or I actually enjoy. And really, this film does the exact same thing, the exact same story, and here I am ripping on it. I think with this, though, it's the taking itself too seriously that really annoys the fuck out of me. Because this premise is, I mean, it's every Stallone and Schwarzenegger movie ever created, right? And I guess with them, there was an air about them for being, the big action hero of the time in the 80s and the 90s. And there was a sense of cheese and of fun to it. With here, it's just not fun. And I know that they're going for a serious vibe, and that's totally okay. That's a directorial choice, that's a design choice, which is awesome. But as a viewer, as an audience member, yes, I can take serious, but this is just not fun serious. There are some very impressive set pieces here where the plane goes down and Michael B. Jordan is going back for all the gear and he has to hold his breath for a very long time, find all the small little air pockets throughout the plane. All of that is very impressive and very nerve-wracking to watch. I felt myself kind of perk up and sit to the front of my recliner a little bit, but then after that it just falls right back into melodrama and the very predictable Russian-American, hey, we're gonna start a war plot scenario. Plus, you also have Guy Pearce in here as the head of the CIA or whatever. And I love Guy Pearce. He's one of those actors that I'm always looking forward to whenever he's in a movie. But Guy Pearce in an authoritative role in a movie. I wonder if he's a good guy. I'm not going to say this movie is not for everyone and that it's complete shit, because it's not. Again, I realize that a lot of these actors are really trying, and some effort went into the design, the production design, and the production elements. But the acting choices, the over dramatic pauses and emoting, and then the terrible editing and not understanding pacing at all. That's all on the editor and the director. It just leads this movie, for me, as forgettable, and it was a waste of time, in my opinion. The movie's not for me, but I could see it being for some people out there that get a kick out of it, or who want to have a revisiting of nostalgia when it comes to 80s and 90s action. All for you, again, not for me. I'm gonna give Without Remorse 1.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
No, sir, I didn't like it.
Alright guys, usually at this point comes the point where I select which movie I'm going to be watching next, but I've already done that because the next movie review that comes out is going to be, it's a big one. It's number 400. And just like what I did with my 300th movie review, where I did an abridged version of Star Wars, which is one of the most fun experiences I've had on this channel. And if you haven't checked that out yet, search for it on my YouTube channel and check it out. It still holds up from last year. But I wanted to do another abridged version of a movie that really affected my life and is really important to me, and a character that's really important to me. And it's, you know, this character, I wear a ring of his on my finger at all times. So I wanted to do this movie. I don't want to give it away, but what I will say is not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. So guys, if you've seen Without a Trace, what did you think about it? Am I wrong in my assessment, or was I just in a bad mood with this thing? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you'll know the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with episode 400. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.